The honourable member for Thornhill.
Just a few short years, the Prime Minister has lost control of the deficit of immigration and of our border. He gave us a 2,500% increase in the number of unprocessed refugee claims, and he still thinks that 3 million temporary residents are going to leave this country voluntarily. Canada is staring down the barrel at 25% tariffs thanks to his open border policies, his free drugs for everyone plan, and his economic vandalism. The Prime Minister can mitigate that all today. Where's the Canada First plan to keep our borders safe?
The Honourable Minister for Immigration, Citizenship and Refugees.
Mr. Speaker, these people just aren't serious. She supports the Leader of the Opposition who sat idly by in government while they cut money to border enforcement at the Canada-U.S. borders, cut at the immigration refugee border. And for those of them that are saying this is ancient history, we proposed an asylum reform package in May, and you know what the Conservatives did and the clapping seals in the back did at the Finance Committee? They voted against it and voted it down. They can support us in our asylum reform if they so choose. I encourage them to do so.
The honourable member for Thornhill.
Speaker, they've been in government for 9 years. They've known for years that immigration was out of control. They knew for years that asylum claims were out of control, and they knew for years that our border was broken. Right. None of what newly elected President Trump has been campaigning on was a secret. And the Prime Minister even threw that minister under the bus for his incompetence in immigration. If we're going to save Canadian jobs, we need a plan yesterday to fix the disorder at the border. So I'll ask again, where is the Canada First plan to keep our border safe?
The Honourable Minister for Citizenship, Refugees and Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, this is from the gleeful authors of the Barbaric Practices snitch line. That was their approach to immigration when they last had a chance. We have been very serious with President Trump about our intention to secure the border. It is something that we clearly intend to do. They have an opportunity to do a number of things, and that is to support any asylum reform that we put in front of the House. I encourage them to break their silliness in the House and to do so.
Right on. The honourable member for Saskatoon West.
Mr. Speaker, after 9 years, this NDP Liberal government has broken our borders. They brought in 3 million temporary residents that need to leave Canada in the next year. But they have no way to know if they will actually leave. Will they go back home? Will they stay here illegally? Will they cross over the U.S. border? And by the way, the President-elect has made it very clear that there are no more free rides for our broken borders. The bottom line is, these Liberals don't know. Mr. Speaker, we need a Canadian plan, for a Canada First plan to fix our broken borders. Where is it?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, one of the first things in our plan was to reverse some of the draconian cuts that the previous Conservative government made to the brave women and men who work in Canadian border services. We take the issue of border integrity and border security seriously, as do the Americans. Our discussion on Friday evening with our American friends, Mr. Speaker, was very much about the joint work that we could continue to do together. That work has been done for decades between Canadian and American law enforcement. It has kept both countries safe and secure, and we're prepared to continue to do more as well.
The honourable member for Saskatoon West.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister went to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring and returned with absolutely nothing, all while there's serious gaps in our immigration system. For example, there are over 260,000 unprocessed refugee claims right now in the system. The Liberals are paying out billions of dollars every year for hotels, food, and medical costs for these claimants. They're even allowed to work while they wait nearly 4 years to be processed. Why would people leave Canada voluntarily when they can hitch themselves to this NDP Liberal gravy train? Mr. Speaker, where is the Canada First plan to keep our borders secure?
Before I recognize the Honourable Minister, I just want to encourage all members on all sides of the House, please, out of respect for those who do depend on simultaneous translation, please allow them to hear the questions and the answers which are given in the House by not taking the floor when you're not recognized by the Speaker. The Honourable Minister for Citizenship, Immigration and Refugees.
While the leader of the opposition was in his basement figuring out what rhyme to put up on Twitter to express his displeasure with the government, the Prime Minister of Canada was meeting with Donald Trump, our most important partner. That is responsible. At the same time, when he's not doing that in his basement, Mr. Speaker, he's skipping around the Greater Toronto Area, promising everyone and anyone visas to this country and not to deport them. That is not responsible. That's not serious. We plan to be serious.
Again, I'm going to ask all members to not take the floor unless they recognize the Speaker, and I'll refer specifically to the member from New Brunswick Southwest to please not do so. L'honorable député.
The Honourable Member for Charles-Bourg-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, for 9 years, we've been asking this Prime Minister to wake up and take back control of our borders. But he's doing the exact opposite. For example, in 2015, unprocessed asylum claims were less than 10,000, but today it's gone up to 260,000 cases. We have asked him for more surveillance at our borders, to cooperate more with provincial police forces, and to fight human trafficking, illegal entry, and drugs trafficking, among other problems. We have proposed a plan. Will he implement it? The Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Mr. Speaker, once again, on Friday, we had very cordial and constructive discussions with our American partners. We discussed border security at our shared border. We talked about integrating our law enforcement agencies with our American partners. We spoke about the important work that the RCMP is doing to fight fentanyl trafficking, drug seizures, and other operations, again, often in cooperation with our American allies. That's work that we will continue doing to support Canadian safety. The Honourable Member, Mr. Speaker, President Trump has just asked the Prime Minister to do something just now, but we've been asking for that for 9 years. We've been asking for more measures to end weapons and drugs trafficking and auto theft, but he ignores us. Weapons trafficking and auto theft are a huge problem in Quebec. We have proposed increased measures at the Port of Montreal and at the border, but nothing is changing. We have a plan. Will the Prime Minister implement it? The Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Mr. Speaker, our colleague across the way has a whole list of things that actually our government has accomplished. We have worked with the police services. We have done everything we could to reverse the cuts of the former Conservative government. If my colleague was really serious about national security, then I would encourage him to tell his boss to get his essential security clearance so he can actually get information to protect his own political party and his caucus. For example, Mr. Speaker, about Indian foreign interference. It would perhaps be somewhat useful for the Conservative leader to do that.